a show. And I said, because everybody with a camera on their cell phone, they do a show, and it just seems so watered down that everyone just holds the camera up. If you're on social media, you know everyone holds the camera up, and they like to talk about, Tyrese is even doing one. They like to talk about mental health and how it can be different. And I can appreciate that because I'm a therapist, and so many people come into my office, and so many people need help. But I said, what will make me different? And my sister said to me, well, everyone does music, so what makes people different? She said, God has put something in you, so whatever you're supposed to say, God will get it out. And so I said, okay, well, let's try it. And so the first episode of Truth Moment, within a month, I had over 300 views. So I said, well, it seems to be that we're doing something right with it. So I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go with it. So with this special Mother's Day moment, the topic for this speaking engagement I decided to go with is position to persevere. So for the women out there, so many times, so often, what we need in this vastly growing, vastly moving world is perseverance. Because we work with a lot of men, and it's no secret, we're not paid equally to men. We're not paid the same, and it can get frustrating. So we ask ourselves, why is that? What do we need to do in order to be comparable to our counterparts? A lot of times, and no offense, men, and my husband and I, we butt heads a lot with it because he'll say, well, you want to be compared, but yet you want men to treat you as though you're docile. You want to be equal, but yet you still want to come home and get your feet rubbed, but yet you want to be on the same page as me. And I'm saying, yeah, I still want to be treated like your flower, but yet I want you still to respect me as your equal that I am. And so what we have to realize in a situation like that is that being positioned to persevere means just that. What is your definition of perseverance? Being positioned to persevere means that there are some things that cause us to be stuck. So perseverance means that, okay, these things, these weaknesses that we have within ourselves, when you're in a workplace and a person speaks to you in a way that maybe your mom did, or your father, or a previous spouse, or a previous relationship did, when someone speaks to you in that way, it's a weakness and it causes you to feel stuck. And so you haven't owned that. So when you own your weakness, people are no longer to make you feel stuck like that. So you're not in a place where someone can, in a sense, own you, because that's what it's doing. Essentially, that's what people are doing. So when you take these trips down memory lane, you'll find out you're in a place where I didn't even realize these things held me hostage. I was in bondage to these things. So if someone is talking to you in a way that makes you feel subservient to them, maybe you had a parent that told you you'll never amount to anything. You'll never be great. So if you're having a boss that says, your work is never even good enough, you're not good enough. So it makes you feel small again, and without even realizing it, it's placing you in that same position that back at home when you were 5 years old or you were 10 years old, back at home, mom used to make you feel like you were in. So when you go back to that place, you go back to these scars, you realize that scars aren't who you are, they make up your past. So it's okay to have scars. Scars just, they're a part of who you are. So when I say that, and it's common in my truth moments, and I'll give you the information about them later, it's common in my truth moments, I tell people that it's okay to have scars. Scars are reminders of the pain that you went through. But scars, they don't necessarily have to be, they don't have to keep you victims of the things you went through. They can just remind you that you're survivors of what you went through. So scars, you want to have scars. Because anytime, like when you get a cut, scars show you, okay, this is a healing process. In order for you to heal from something, the skin has to come back together. It has to be pieced back together. So when you've healed from from something, a scar has to take place. So in order for a scar to be there, that lets you know that a healing took place. I'm no longer a victim of that. I'm a survivor of that. That happened to me. In essence, that happened for me. That happened for my good. That was necessary for the things in me to come together to make me who I am. So the truth moment in this Mother's Day, I do truth moment for my daughter. She's 3. She tells me, I told her, I said, baby, mommy's nervous. I don't know what to say to the people. She said, mommy, smile. Smile. I said, Taylor, what should I say? And I do mental health for her because, my mom has always, she's never stifled my creativity. She's always told me, be great. And I realized that, when I became a mom, I tell her she does her own thing. We say Taylor runs the house. She's the youngest, but she runs the house. And in essence, it's true. But things are passed down. Low self-esteem, self-worth, it's passed down and it's generational because the way that I talk to myself, it's passed down to my daughter without even realizing it. The way you talk to yourself is passed down. Affirmations are passed down. You look at yourself, you tell yourself, my scars of feeling worthless, they help make me who I am. My scars aren't who I am. They've made me who I am. I can no longer run from my scars if I want to. And you may feel like, okay, I'm successful in essence. I'm married. I have children. I have a house. I have a career. But what part of you lies awake at night in a pit, in a small box, things that you've kept to yourself that make you feel like you're not good enough, that keep you lying awake, that make you feel like, I don't even tell my husband this, that make me feel like if anyone knew this about me, they would laugh. If anyone knew this about me, they would feel like you're still that little girl that is fat or that is ugly. That we all have these things that make us feel like we're less than. So I ask you, what's your less than? Because even our less thans make us feel unsuccessful. And when you pull your less thans out one by one, that in essence is what makes us successful. When we start pulling out our less than, when we remove our makeup, when we get out of our boxes, those are the things that can stop generational curses. And even as a therapist, I remove my makeup. I take out my less than so that Taylor, when she's 30, she doesn't have her less thans. My less thans won't become Taylor's less thans. So Taylor can come to me as she's 30 and say, Mommy, I don't have these issues. At night, when Taylor goes to sleep, Taylor and James, and I pray over them, I pray that they never have issues with self-esteem. And, I talk to them about these things. I say that, any issues that I may have within myself, like I said, my less thans, because we all have them as women. And our less thans can make us comfortable, and I challenge you, all of you, to sit and write things that maybe, and it sounds silly, but sometimes if we lash out and have temper tantrums and make children have temper tantrums, it's because there are things within us that we haven't dealt with in childhood, and they cause us to act out as children do, and it makes us revert back to 6-year-old us because we haven't dealt with 6-year-old things in us. Maybe it was sexual abuse, maybe it was child abuse, and so when we haven't dealt with those things in 6-year-old us, in 10-year-old us, and so when they carry over into 30 and 40 and 50-year-old us, it's because the child in us is crying and saying, why have you not dealt with me? How long will it be until you live for me? And so I'm not going to take up any more of your time. That's all I ask. As you are mothering and you're going forward, mothering, and you're wondering why so often it seems as though your children are acting just like you, is because as you moved on, you've buried so much of you into a box, and sometimes the child in you just spills out and says, when are you going to deal with me? I'm Tiara Pritchett. That's my truth moment. What's yours?